watercolor in a straight line, it tends to fade it more. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to draw this in half. Okay, let me just take a pen here. I'm going to just draw a line in half. So I have divided my shading in half. On one side of it, I'm going to try the circle shading. The circle watercoloring, and on the other side, I'm going to show you another method. Let me show you the circle watercoloring, okay? So this is all you're going to do. You're just going to take your watercolor, the very, very tip, and you're going to just do circles like this. Tiny little circles, okay? And you just keep going down, and down, and down, and down, okay? You can go back up, straighten it out kind of even. Now, notice here, that's what I shaded, but I'm actually going to keep going this way a little bit. What's happening? That paint that this water pen is creating is allowing me to drag the color, okay? It's allowing me to drag the color a lot further. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, that's the circle method. Let me show you the straight line method on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and clean my marker. Clean, clean, clean. It looks like it's wiping clear, which is exactly what I want. On this side, I'm just going to do lines. And in fact, let me turn my paper this way. Make sure you can still see. There we go. And I'm just going to go this way. Just in lines from dark to light, from dark to light, from dark to light, from dark to light. Okay, so what you'll notice here is you'll notice that I was able to pull my color a lot further. Okay, I was able to drag my color a lot further. You'll also notice that it's very heavy here. It's very dark here. Okay, and I can drag that dark color all the way out, and then eventually it lightens up. Those are the two shading methods or watercoloring methods that you can use, okay? Both of them will come in handy today, and it kind of depends on what kind of stamp you have. If you have a circle, for example, it might be easier for you to do the circular method. Okay, go ahead and play around with that a little bit more. You can do a couple more examples with some of your favorite colors because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our stamps. So go ahead and take a minute, continue playing around with that, use some other colors if you want, and when you're ready, we'll continue. Okay, so I guess you're ready to continue with our stamping or continue with our watercoloring stamping. I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush up. Okay, just back and forth until it wipes clear. Back and forth until it wipes clear. Okay. Go ahead and top this up for the moment. I want you to go ahead and take your stamp that you're going to be working with. Remember, you wanted a stamp with a big image on it, something that doesn't have tight areas in it for beginning. When you're starting watercoloring, you want to do something with a very big open space, okay? Then go ahead and select your ink color. I have both my brown and my black available. My black is in the form of a marker. I'm going to go with my black for this, okay? So go ahead and grab your color. Again, I recommend using a black or a brown for your first lesson. Okay, since I have a marker, I have to color my stamp, and I will definitely show you what this looks like. You can definitely use markers. They are a little bit less expensive than the ink pads, and they just require less storage room. They take up less space. They come in a little plastic container, so they travel well, and they're very versatile. So I'm a huge fan of the markers. Okay, now that my stamp is perfectly colored, I'm going to stamp it on my left side of my paper one time. Lifting up quickly, there's my image. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and try that. I want you to stamp, whether it's with a marker or with an ink pad. I want you to stamp one image and make sure you leave plenty of room because we're going to do several of the same image. Okay, go ahead and do that. All right. Now I want you to go ahead and ink up your stamp again. Again, I'm using a marker, so it takes me a little bit more time. If you had an ink pad, of course, you would just push it down and you'd be ready to go. But we're going to stamp this image more than once. We're going to stamp it 3 times. We've already done it once. We're going to do it 2 more times. Okay, because I'm going to show you 3 methods. All right. All ready to go. And again, press down firmly, lift up. Okay? And one more time. Go ahead and get your 3 images stamped out. I'm doing mine in a line, like so. I'm going to do the 3rd one right here in this little white area. So I would encourage you to line yours up in some way if your paper is large enough. If not, just make sure you can see them all, because you'll want to compare the different methods. I'm just going to continue preparing to stamp my 3rd image. It's really fun and really easy. Watercoloring is a huge part of the reason I got involved with Stampin' Up, because I flipped through the Stampin' Up catalog and all of the cards that I fell in love with all had watercoloring, and I didn't know why they looked so good, but it was because they were watercolored. Okay, so here are my 3 images, and I actually changed my mind on you guys. I decided to put the 3rd one here because I thought it'd be easier to see all in one screenshot. Okay, hopefully you have all 3 of your images stamped by now. If you don't, feel free to pause the video. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to select our watercolor pencil. Okay, I'm going to use red. You are more than welcome to use one of the colors you've already experimented with. However, since I'm doing a love heart stamp, it definitely red lends itself to that sort of coloring. Again, I would encourage you to use a color that is dark. I would not use a yellow or a very light orange or any pastel colored colors, just because you want to, when you're beginning watercoloring, you want to really learn kind of the different shades you can get, and it's just really hard to discern that in a light yellow, right off at least. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to teach you 3 techniques for shading. Okay, and these are kind of these are your 3 basics. This is your spoon, your fork, and your knife. Okay, these are your main utensils for creating a watercolored image that you really, really like. Each of them is unique and different, but each of them can be used in conjunction with one another. What I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you to watch one, then do it, then pause the video and try it again, okay? Then come back and then work on the second technique. I'm going to go over them 1, 2, 3 in succession, but I would definitely encourage you to pause between if some of them are harder for you. Okay? Okay, again, I'm angling the camera down so we can get started here. So I'm going to go ahead and just get everything set up so you can see well. Okay, the first technique that we're going to use, we're going to do this on this heart here. The first technique is called directional shading. And so I want you to mentally divide your image in half. So in this heart, half of it would be one side of this. Okay, and again, I'm just focusing on the heart because I want to show you the shape.